So you have just launched the, and I'm going to have to read this because it's a bit of a mouthful if you see, but the Nexsan Unity NV10000, if that's how you say it, enterprise class, all flash NVMe platform. So I guess it'd be good to know the bit of the background, sort of the thinking behind it and the basic feeds and speeds of it.
Okay, so the NV10000, the Unity NV10000 is our fourth generation of the Unity. So, we continue to always work on stability and performance of the system because that's of paramount interest to our customers. So speeds and feeds, we've introduced 100 gig onto the system. We are able to support throughputs up to 20 gigabytes on this system. And, it's a 2U a rack unit with 24 drives in the back. So we're able to pack 30 terabyte drives in there, and we can get up to 737 terabytes of raw flash. One of the biggest things we're bringing to market, of course, is our NVMe SSD support. This is the first Unity platform that supports it. So yeah, a lot of things going for it.
Okay, and in terms of the protocol supported, I believe I'm not sure if it's the first time, excuse me, but you bringing together, it supports file, block, and object storage protocols. Is that right?
Yeah, so, back in January of 2022, we introduced our Unity 7.0 software. And that software comes with three things. The first is, of course, the protocols. So file, block, and object. So NFS, SMB, of course. Block is iSCSI and FC, up to 32 gig FC, and iSCSI up to 100 gig. And object. So we introduced object back in January. Now, with the Unity NV10000, the advantage we give is a lot of our customers will deploy file and object, have large capacities, 4 or 5 petabytes, but that's quite expensive. So you end up buying a lot of hard drives, if you will, for the bulk of the storage. And for cache, we provide SSD. And so NVMe SSD is a lot faster. And so that gives us a significant performance advantage over the older systems.
Okay, and in terms of the other sort of benefits or advanced features, I know there's quite a list. Just things like sort of increased bandwidths, high availability, snapshots, inline compression. I suppose a slight test of your memory. I mean, how many are there of these benefits, and can you just sort of outline them to us?
Yeah, I think the first and the biggest benefit of all is really leveraging our 7.0 software and 7.x. Really, we have some updates since then. Is security features. So with objects, we support object locking. So folks can put data on us and say, hey, I want to retain this for 2 years, and nobody can delete the data for 2 years. So that's really good functionality. If you don't use object and security is still paramount, which it is, you have this notion of immutable snapshots. And what that is you take a snapshot and you define a period of time where you say nobody can delete this, and we're able to also protect that data for that long and nobody can delete it. So those are the two big deals. The third one is, of course, Unity plus Assurion, which is our Unbreakable backup, which we're able to support as well in the system. Now, it's an HA system, of course. It has NDU, so non-disruptive upgrades, inline compression. If you have cloud connectivity needs, we're able to connect with DMS. And of course, if you want anomaly detection with backup, we can use our own retrospect software to provide that functionality as well. So a whole lot of solutions, with the Storcentric portfolio on the system.
Okay, and I'm just interested a bit more detail about the Unbreakable backup. You say I think it's Nexsan, the Assurion plus the Unity 10,000. And how do you define that sort of Unbreakable backup piece?
Yeah, so when you look at the bigger backup applications, all of them require you to have multiple copies of your data. This isn't a shock. With one of the copies being, they say, hey, it's best to provide an air gap. And what we're able to do with our Unbreakable backup, which is the Unity plus Assurion, is provide this notion of almost a virtual air gap, if you will. So what happens is data shows up on the Unity. It's a backup target. So, using NFS or SMB in a backup application, writes backup data to it. Underneath the covers, transparent to the application, we move the data from the Unity to the Assurion. and we leave a stub behind on the Unity. So as far as the application is concerned, they can see the files because the stubs exist, but the data is now on the Asurion. This data is protected through multiple signatures of the file. It's protected by encryption with keys that are not hosted on-site. They're hosted at a Storcentric website. And so with all that and the fact that it's a lockdown solution, Asurion, you get this virtual notion of an air gap. And the biggest advantage of the Unbreakable backup, of course, you have backup and you store your data securely. It's when you want to restore, we restore very quickly. So imagine the Unity is encrypted, it's hacked and you have to restore. We first restore the shortcuts and the customers then decide which applications are key and they can stagger the bring up. And so both backup and restore are very well served with the Unbreakable backup solution.
Okay, thanks for that. And I think there's one other thing, if our memory serves, the new platform, I think you've introduced some data migration capabilities. I'm guessing that's to do with cloud in particular, but can you give us some more details?
Yeah, so one of the things, so it goes without saying, almost all our customers have, data on-prem, they have data on cloud, and I think about it as they're constantly moving data back and forth depending on the needs that they have. And so with Unity, we bundle this solution called DMS, which is part of our portfolio. DMS stands for Data Mobility Suite. And all that says is you pick a target, you pick a source, in this case, let's say, actually, Unity, or, for example, it works on any third party, so NetApp or anything else. And you pick a destination, say AWS. And we just migrate that data transparently to AWS. And by transparently, what I mean is, do all our competitors support some sort of cloud tiering? Of course they do. The difference with us is you can access the data we've moved directly without needing us in the middle. So we're truly a transparent data migration, data replication solution that gives you the freedom of moving anywhere and just accessing your data as needed. So yes, with the Unity, any cloud connect, any migration between arrays, between clouds, if you will, we try and handle with the DMS solution.
Okay, and maybe just as we finish, looking ahead slightly, do you see any challenges? I'm wondering. I know supply chains for a lot of organizations are, there are potential issues. I'm just wondering if that's something that's impacting yourselves or the wider storage industry, and also are there any other things on the horizon that you're sort of looking forward to, sort of excitement as opposed to worries, if you like?
Yeah, I'd say so. Supply chain, it's top of mind for everybody. So one of the things I didn't mention with the Unity NV10000 is we chose a very modern platform. And so the latest Xeons, the latest memories, and honestly, the platform is new. So all the components are new. And so we're not chasing random end of life that keeps showing up because of supply chain. So that's really another big reason for us internally to move, because makes everything a little bit easier for us. In order to mitigate some of these supply chain issues, we're also taking some of our solutions like Asurion, which were primarily sold as hardware appliances, if you will, as just a software package. So you can download it onto a VM or the cloud and just consume it like that if you already have storage there. So we're able to try to mitigate some of the hardware dependent issues with software packages as well. And as far as the systems is concerned and storage and excitement, I think one thing goes without saying: storage is growing leaps and bounds no matter what. And so the throughputs that we introduced with the system, it's such a big deal because the amount of data you're backing up is always increasing. The backup windows are not shrinking, and throughput really solves this problem for a backup target. And so we're very excited with being able to provide higher throughputs, better reliability, and a more modern system to help mitigate some of these challenges our customers face in the field. And of course, with the added security features as well. That's another constant. Supply chain, security, performance.
Okay, that's great. It's been lovely to catch up with you today, Surya. So thank you very much indeed for your time. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.